that face at me. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Anything But Anything Goes. My name's Miguel.
I'm Brendan.
And welcome to episode 80, folks. Hooray! Woo! Folks, today we have a very packed day on the docket for you, including...
Do we?
Yeah.
What?
The Marvels.
Didn't mean to ruin your flow.
You completely derailed the entire train. It's The Marvels. Loki season character finale.
Season finale.
Invincible, episode 2. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I feel like that's it. We were supposed to watch Rick and Morty, but we didn't have a chance.
I have not been really caught up on
that
season
have I.
At all. Yeah, I mean, we got a lot to talk about.
Especially between those two.
Yeah.
I feel like this is going to be really bad because it's like the third week in a row that we're talking mainly Marvel the entire time. But
and I'm going to be ranting a lot. Ranting and raving and carrying
I'm excited
on.
for us to talk about the Marvels because we are on two completely opposite sides of the table.
Are we?
Literally and figuratively.
I don't think so. Stop. That was bad.
Brendan, the Marvels.
Okay, is that we got to talk about first?
Oh, yeah.
What is
100%.
the bigger deal, that or Loki?
I feel like Loki's a really big deal, but I feel like in terms of movie right now trending, the Marvels is bigger only because most of the people talking about it are people who fucking hate it.
Okay, let's do it. You want me to start or you want to go?
No, hold on. Let me give you some information first on the Marvels.
Ooh.
Marvels right now is fresh at a 62 with an audience score of an 85. And I'm just going to double check the budget because I'm pretty sure.
It's a lot because it's a Marvel movie.
Yeah. Initially, there were reports that it was like the cheapest Marvel movie to be made thus far. And then actual reports came out, and it's got a budget of something like $250 million.
I don't know how.
That's akin to like an Avengers movie pre-Infinity War.
So normal.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, but still very high, like obnoxiously high. Box office is low as shit for the first opening days. Today's Saturday when we record this, so I'm not sure how much money it's actually going to make.
Yeah.
But, it's slated to underperform in general.
I mean, we went to the theater, and it was the first time a Marvel movie wasn't
wall-to-wall packed.
Yeah.
The theater itself was pretty empty. It was dead.
Was it? Okay,
yeah.
I didn't get up once during the movie, so.
No. The theater itself, even when we walked in, it was a Friday night.
Yeah.
And it felt like a Tuesday or something. Like nothing was going on whatsoever. People, I mean, like you could tell the MCU folk who were there. Mm-hmm. We were all like, yeah, we got to be here. This is like a legal obligation.
Yeah.
But there weren't like, I was expecting it to be a huge deal for like younger kids. Because that's kind of who they were marketing towards, being like, look, girl superheroes, look at the three of us. Kamala Khan's a 16-year-old girl.
Because no one actually wanted it. No one wanted this.
I did.
No, you didn't. You lying to yourself because you're like, oh, maybe it'll be good.
See,
but
But this is what I mean. We're at totally opposite sides of the table. Because honestly, I fucking love this movie.
I'm not there yet. Expectations before you went in. Why did you want this movie?
Because Miss Marvel was great.
But what about Captain Marvel?
Oh, no, Captain Marvel's movie sucked.
Okay, so...
I'm fine with her, but WandaVision, Monica Rambeau was great.
Yeah.
Very compelling. Not a huge charismatic character. Can't really take up a movie by herself, but she was great. Miss Marvel carried that show. Like, the opening that you saw with all the cartoons and shit and the drawings, that's what her whole show was. Or the first half of it, anyway.
Disclaimer, I did not watch that show.
No, he did not. So you have no idea who Miss Marvel is.
Well, I watched a recap of it, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you don't feel a connection to the character because you didn't watch it as it came out.
No, so I'm going to start off with my most controversial thought for the movie. I think it's time that all superhero parents need to be dead again.
Really?
I'm so fucking tired of them having a superhero movie and then stopping every 30 seconds. This is DC and Marvel, and just being like, oh man, no, you can't do that with the family. And I'm like, you're fighting in space, and then your mom is yelling at you. You can't do both. I understand it's charismatic, it's funny, but when you're stopping my story just to throw that in there, Batman, Dead Parents works flawlessly.
This is one of those things that because you could tell this is from you not watching Miss Marvel. They are a huge presence in that show, and they make the show. They aid in making the show hilarious and heartfelt because there's a lot of family there.
No,
so to me, watching that, I saw it was calling back to that a little bit, but it was also like, oh, I know who they are. I saw the story. I saw it unfold of her and her brother and whatever. Mm-hmm. So now I'm like, oh shit, look, they're cute. Maybe a little bit too much screen time. Maybe too many jokes about her yelling at Captain Marvel, but...
Well, the brother and everything was funny. He was charismatic, but I'm talking about, like, that, like, in its comparison with, like, things like also, like, Blue Beetle. Like, the family was funny. They had good moments in it, but, like, do you need them? No. You don't need them, especially in this story.
It takes away the focus in such a short runtime, too, under 2 hours, dedicating, 20 minutes
to just family again, and just like, the same jokes just
exactly over and over again, and them just like, Kamala, you can't be a superhero. You're not allowed to do it. Mom, I'm in space right now, and there's a literal broken hexagon in space leading to another dimension.
You got to be careful. We can't have you die. Mom, I have a cosmic entity on my arm, and I can literally create matter. Shut the fuck up.
Watch me make light into this ball. Look at that. That's fucking cool. Yeah. What can you do do, Mom? Nothing.
Nothing. You know
bitch.
why? Because don't fucking Mom. You got no power, bitch.
16-year-old Kamala Khan. I'm friends with the fucking Avengers, Mom.
Yeah.
That's Nick Fury. That's my fucking bitch right there.
So in this movie, he was. What happened?
A fall from grace.
What happened?
I love the fact that Nick Fury is in this movie, and Samuel L. Jackson continues to just show up, and like, even though he's like 10, 15 years older than the first Iron Man, he looks the same mostly.
Yeah.
Homie can't run because he's old as shit, and I don't know why they keep making him do it.
He's 70 now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see him running Captain Marvel when they de-aged him? It still looked bad. He's running around in Secret Invasion. That's an old man. Stop making him run. And in this movie, they're like, give him a gun, and he's like,
boom. Okay, so
I love that he's in it.
personality. How are you going to tell me? This is the whole movie, but I'm going to start with him because he was the biggest issue with it. Not going to say they weren't good the way they are. They were great. They were charismatic. They were really funny. Yes. All the characters in this style. But how are you going to tell me that Nick Fury, who's been through everything, especially what just happened
with his wife, man?
What was the name of the show again? I already forgot.
Secret Invasion?
Secret Invasion, yes. After what happened in that, and he's like, oh, I'm Nick Fury. And then they made him like the bonehead kind of boss.
Yeah.
Where they're just like, oh, like what should we do, guys? Well, get it done. It's just no. This is Nick Fury. He knows.
I felt hold on, gotta get the beer. I felt most of the time that it was just comedic timing and it wasn't him necessarily being an idiot. Given there were moments like, especially when they were talking about the eggs, he was like, what are we gonna do with this? He's like, well, where are they?
Yeah.
Are you gonna get them together? What is this stuff? First of all,
it felt like a sitcom, the whole movie.
Yes.
And I want to say that because I know you said we're on completely opposite sides of it. As a superhero film and as a movie in general, I had a fun time. It was entertaining. I thought it was great. As a Marvel Cinematic Universe film, it belongs in a parallel universe. It doesn't make it's not even that it was subpar for it. It was that the characters and everything personality-wise don't make sense for the Marvel universe. Carol Danvers, everyone fucking hated, so they're like, what if we make her
what if we do a 180?
Peppier and fun and everything? And it just kind of felt like everyone was like, yeah, it felt like it wasn't actually a superhero film, and it was all what Miss Marvel would draw about or like do whatever.
Yes, maybe it's all in her imagination.
It's all in her head. None of this is real. And it 100%. Felt like it was from her perspective, which is cool, but you didn't make it seem like it was genuinely from her perspective.
Yeah.
So it just seems like that's the universe now. And if you see these people, they're nothing but serious and had heartbreak and all these troubles and everything, and now they're just fine.
Yeah.
And it's just like, so when they're in the next movie, are you going to go back to that, or is this just them?
Is this just who they are at this point? Listen, I think it's clear. The deeper we get into the MCU now, post Endgame, post the pandemic, the easier it is to see the like overabundant attempted course correction.
Yeah.
It's something that was very apparent in DC movies where people were like, man, the Suicide Squad trailer is great. And they were like, we're going to fucking reshoot the whole thing. It feels like where they're like, look, man, people didn't like Captain Marvel. We already told them there's another one coming and we got this Ms. Marvel show, so we have to do this. Let's just change it. And everyone's like, but there's no character development there. And they're like, well, yeah, but Captain Marvel, they got to like her. So you got to make her sing on a really weird planet and dance with a dude.
They made her a Disney princess.
They did.
That's canon now. That's all that was for. That was the only reason for that.
To sell toys. Sell toys, have her show up, so then she can show up at fucking Disneyland at Avengers Campus and
sell
be like,
toys,
look at my
appeal
dress.
to the younger markets so people maybe like enjoy her more.
But then again, that's the whole point. That's why Miss Marvel was there, to appeal to a younger demographic.
Yes, but she was also supposed to be there to take the reins after Tony died, and that didn't work either. So now the fact that they're just making her a glorified fake princess and being like, maybe people will like her now.
Because they're trying to like...
But like, Brie Larson also said she was done, so whether that was bullshit or not...
Well, see, I don't know if... She didn't say she was done. There were leaks saying that she wanted to be done.
Okay.
But she hasn't come out. She's now that the actor strike is over, she's out promoting the movie.
Well, she's contractually
as
obligated
supposed to.
Yeah.
But I haven't heard anything. The one thing I've heard is that the director is trying to distance herself from the movie. I haven't heard anything about from her voice specifically. I haven't heard anything from Brie Larson.
Who's the director? No one famous or that we care about?
No one that we care about, I think. Okay. If I don't remember the name, then...
You hear that? We don't care about you.
You know what's funny?
What?
A nice little connection. You know the villain who's shit, by the way.
Oh my God.
The actress is married to Tom Hiddleston.
The villain?
Yeah.
Tom, you gotta shoot higher, man.
No, it's just like a really big week, or like very big, like 2 or 3 days for like that couple right there.
They literally made the villain of this Ronan.
But worse.
But completely worse in every way. And then also... made her go up against I'm not going to say strongest Avenger anymore because Thor's been on a fucking trip.
He has been, yes. Especially his new gold suit. Very nice.
Yeah.
Even though the movie was bad.
one of the strongest Avengers who headbutted Thanos
when he had
all of the stones, and he literally had to hold the Power Stone
in order to
do it. And now this woman just like, I got another purple stone, so I can kick your ass too. And
Hammer,
it's just
bang.
And it's just like, no, you cannot make her this almost
deity.
Yeah.
And then have her get the shit beat out of her by a hammer.
And then have...
The hammer also doesn't make sense, because I read online, don't believe everything you read online, I read online that is Ronin's hammer, and the reason that it has those powers is because he, in the end of Guardians 1, he took the Power Stone and he went bang, gave it the purple energy shit, and then the Guardians killed him, but the hammer still has the power of the Power Stone in it, even though the
Power Stone's sole power is to rip holes in space and time, clearly.
Yes.
That's not what it does.
Well, it's the Power Stone. It just has the power. She combines it with the Gauntlet. The Gauntlet does the shit, and then they break the hexagon in the sky. And clearly, the hexagon in the sky then brings out the multiverse.
Does that mean that Chicken Little is in this universe?
Stop. Okay. Enough. Okay, the villain was shit. Like, to be honest, and ratio. It is so incredibly hard to have a cinematic universe like this that is, 30-something movies deep now, and be able to go, new villain, look, they're cool, and have us go, yeah, that's the best villain you've ever seen.
Yeah.
The chances are so much blinded.
Or just build. They're constantly one and done, which is why I'm excited that I'm hearing
the problem
rumors of like Hammer coming back and stuff. I'm like, you know what? He was cool. He wasn't great, but having him come back would be great.
I've got so many rumors for you.
Oh, that'll be the segment at the end.
Yes.
The rumor mill.
The amount of shit that we've heard and the amount of shit that we've talked about from Marvel in the last few weeks.
Because they're just throwing shit out the wall. Deadpool's the only film coming out next year now.
Yes,
that's
because
insane.
everything's delayed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but chances are if they can fix Captain America, then they'll just move it up to December or something.
But there's also so much, like...
There's still so much
in
shit
that movie that they're just... Like, that. There's no way that movie's the same that it was a year ago.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
It's also funny that, like, I think a week or two ago, we talked about the 20 different directions the MCU is going in. And this movie basically listened to our podcast and went, Young Avengers, the Bengals.
Yeah, they set it all up. Kate Bishop showed up and everything. And I'm like...
Which wasn't even a post-credit scene. It was deliberately at the end to be like, no, this is coming.
Yeah. And what was really crazy about it is that when I saw it, I wasn't just like... I mean, a little bit. I was like, oh, fuck, it's actually happening. But for the most part, I'm like, there we go. Okay, there it is.
Finally,
now I got to wait 4 more movies
something.
for it to be an actual team. And I also like how she was clearly mimicking, like, Nick Fury's thing when he, like, introduces him and everything.
It was cute.
Like, which is funny. But on the other hand, like, the back of my mind is like, there's no way she could know he did that. It's bullshit.
That was a Tony Stark moment. Get the fuck out of here.
Who the fuck are you?
The only thing I noticed is that, have you seen Hawkeye?
Yeah.
Phenomenal show. Probably like top 3 Disney Plus shows.
Which is crazy. The relationship between her and what's her face?
Who?
Florence Pugh.
Yes.
What's her character's name? White Widow? Is that what she is?
No.
Russian lady number 3 in the white suit. Her and Kate Bishop have an awesome chemistry.
Yes,
and like
yes, they do.
Everything's
a lot of really nice banter.
And Camille? Is that her name? Kamala Khan. Kamala Khan.
Yes.
Okay.
Who the actor is that we don't remember her name.
No.
I can find out.
She definitely has the energy where she could work in there.
Yes.
But she's also not serious enough to where, like, she needs the Thor treatment. She needs some heartbreak. She's a bit too fucking peppy.
Kamala Khan?
Yeah.
Well, she's also 16.
Okay.
You know the next
Kill
time
a
she shows
parent.
up.
It happened to Toby.
The
this is what I'm talking about. The parents need to die.
Yes. Well, no, the brother's going to die in the next one.
No, but he's the only good one.
Well, that's why he has to die.
The mom constantly looking in the camera just being like, be careful. Be careful,
Stop.
please.
You just ruined the microphone. The only thing I noticed about Kate Bishop is Hawkeye came out, like 2 years ago? So it was filmed pre-pandemic. Haley Steinfeld is clearly older. There's no way they're going to go... I'm glad that they didn't go, oh, she's 19. They were like, oh, she's 23. So I could be like, oh, yeah, some time passed. But I can clearly notice and be like...
her age?
A little bit. She looks like she's a bit older than she was.
They were like, this is a 23-year-old Kate Bishop now.
Yeah, she said, I'm 23. That was literally like her only line.
Was it really?
Yes.
Okay.
Hold on. I need the cast. Let's talk about Monica Rambeau.
Okay.
The worst part was the CG at the end. When she was glowing white and her contact lenses were changed. And they were clearly like in a really bad green screen where it was just like from here. So
really?
She was like...
Because there were like multiple times where Brie Larson's face was completely CG. And
really?
They tried to act like it wasn't, and I just immediately, like, there was a couple close-up shots where it was just her face, and I'm like, that's a fudgy-looking face. Like, that looks like rubber. I could just fucking, like, stretch that and shit.
Really? I didn't notice.
Yeah, she noticed. She's shaking her head. Yeah. It was, there were a couple, and, like, there was a lot of things that didn't need to be, and there was a lot of shots of her transitioning from CG to real life.
Oh, yeah, when she would come into the...
Like, sorry.
When
she
would land
landed
and
on
come
the
through
ship.
the thing, yeah.
But the problem wasn't the CG; it was the animation
transition?
of the CG
Yes.
that it didn't look like a person landing. It was kind of like, I know you didn't watch this, but for people watching, it looked a lot like Cedric Diggory in Harry Potter when they use a port key and they're floating down, and he's supposed to be hovering down towards the earth but controlling it, and he's just kicking his legs like he's swimming as he's landing, and that's what it felt like.
Oh my gosh. Monica Rambeau.
Not bad. It's just
Not
not
bad
the
at
same
all.
character. She
Her
was my favorite
powers-
character going in, though.
Yes.
And they
Ms.
kind of
Marvel
like
was
dumbed
better.
her up a little bit.
They did. But her powers, I like how vague they are, because she tried to be like, oh, I could see light. Well, see, I get it, but you're also like in the beginning of the movie phasing through your suit. So it's not just that you could see stuff. And there was a second where she was like, I could see all rays of light or something. I was like, that sounds like hell.
You mean a rainbow?
Yes. I was like, that sounds...
We can all see that.
No, she's... Brendan, it's more complicated than that, okay? Stop trying to dumb it down. This is a very clear and complicated universe.
It is, though.
No, not
Actually,
really.
hold on. That actually leads me to a beautiful point.
Okay.
It very much felt like we kept talking about how they have all these different branches and everything of like what they're doing, and it felt like this kind of combined it in the
This
worst
felt
possible
like it was supposed
way.
to be the nexus point where everything crosses and then branches back off, but it didn't land.
It felt nice.
Go ahead.
It kind of felt like certain parts had this groundedness.
Yes.
That
They tried
had
to.
Going on or whatever, and it's kind of that was the perfect. It was back to the villain.
Yes.
If you're in space, you cannot just have a literal woman be the villain. You cannot just have her be like, "Hi, I'm
the
here.
villain."
What are your characteristics?
Yes.
I can breathe." Like no, what?
That she that she could, because she was trying to save her planet.
No, I'm just saying, like she doesn't look. There's nothing special about her. If you had to
She's
define
not-
her as a villain,
Yes.
what would you say?
Lady with a hammer.
It's not her hammer.
It's not
So
her
what the
hammer.
fuck
No.
is she? She's nothing.
She's-
You got
listen,
Guardians
but she was
3 where
also-
his face is strapped on, and they're like, "Oh,
Yeah,
what
that's
are
a
you?
lot.
I'm just a person, you know." No, you can't have a
It's-
cosmic space villain
You
be that boring.
Well, but she was trying to be a savior. So it wasn't necessarily
Jesus
that
at
she
least
was
had a
stop
crown.
it.
Okay, come on.
Stop. It wasn't that she was trying to paint herself to be this huge gigantic villain. In certain conversations she was, like with the scrolls and whatever, she was like, "Oh, I'm going to take your planet and shit." But she initially it felt like we were seeing someone trying to be a savior, but from the point of view of somebody on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like, I'm the fucking good guy, dude. I'm doing all this. And from us, we were like, you're just trying to take shit.
Can we just talk about like
No.
the biggest plot hole?
Which one? The
fact
air
that
coming through the hole?
Skrulls had a fucking planet this entire time, and they were like, "We got to be on Earth because we got no home."
Oh yeah, from
They
Secret
had a
Invasion?
home!
They did the whole time. They did. I don't want to talk
Fucking
about.
Namekians,
Please don't
man.
make me. I don't want to talk about Secret Invasion. That's one of my favorite things about this movie is how they clearly came out and were like, Secret Invasion hands off directly to the Marvels, which hands directly off to Deadpool. Not at all.
Not even the
only
slightest.
thing that's similar is the fact that fucking Nick Fury is there.
And there's a Skrull.
A single one. One had a crown. He was cool.
He was.
You know what? That
What?
leads to the one cameo that was nice because it made the universe feel like a universe, but clearly just felt like they were like, these other people are too expensive.
I love how Timmy didn't recognize her.
Yes.
And
And then I had to explain to him and be like, no, that's Valkyrie. Valkyrie showed up.
because she was like in a suit and everything, like she was for
Because
like
she was for Thor: Love
5
and Thunder.
minutes
Yes.
in Thor: Love and Thunder,
Yes.
but that was it. And she's like, "I'm here, I'm whatever." And then there was also like, I don't know, this is just me.
What?
But like, there was a little bit of sexual tension.
There
There
was a little bit of
Okay.
sexual tension there.
And like we know she is at least bi or
Yes.
something. So like
she
that,
says something about it in Thor.
so like that could totally be a thing. But it would have.
I
I have no problem with it, but it would have been better if they met once before. Besides
Yes.
the fight for Endgame,
But
like they
clearly-
don't have a connection.
They don't. At least not on screen. There's nothing that we've seen. But it definitely felt like they were
And
trying to
with
be like,
30 movies, we should have seen it.
we should have, yes. I was really waiting. How do I say this without sounding like I'm trying to get canceled? I was really waiting for them to kiss just because I wanted everybody to get super angry because it wouldn't have made any sense. But the fact that they lingered on one of the shots where they were face to face,
Yeah.
I was like, they're going to fucking do it.
like-
they're going to do the Kylo and the fucking Rey thing. And they're going to make them kiss just because they feel like it should.
But that's the problem wouldn't be that they would kiss. The problem would be that there was no indication that Captain Marvel likes women at all.
No.
And then they're like,
But-
"Hey, I'm Valkyrie. You know I like women.
Yes.
Let's kiss."
It's a
And
very
just like,
exactly.
That's
It's a
not how
very
you tell a story.
It's a very difficult line to tiptoe because there's an easy way to make it come off as pandering and random, but it's also you don't have to show. It doesn't have to be like someone's entire personality that they're gay.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very hard to please everyone and also be like, no, this kind of makes sense. Valkyrie's cameo, I liked.
I like how. Sorry, finish.
Thor
'cause I
would
have a
have made
thought.
more sense.
Okay.
Or some other Avenger. Because
Yeah.
once again, we have the universe is breaking and Thor is just fucking off doing nothing, and fucking Shang-Chi is off doing nothing.
You use the word pander.
Yes.
And I know we haven't talked about it on here, but I brought it up to you with the South Park special where they're making fun of
Yes.
that. It's called the Panderverse. And
Makes
everything, and it's all about like Kathleen Kennedy and stuff like that. But the fact that you use that specific word, which is immediately what they did, and there also is a document that just came out talking about
Oh no.
inside Disney.
All my homies
And
hate Kathleen Kennedy.
apparently they were aware that they were going to make fun of in the episode, but they did not know what they were going to get made fun of about, and they are like having a meltdown right now.
Of course. Understandably so.
Yeah. There's a lot going on in Disney. Bob Iger was talking about them going on with too much and
They're cutting
quality
left and
over
right.
quantity.
Yeah. Which is what they should do.
Yeah.
Apparently, some of the leaks I've seen is that, nope, leaks are later. Focus. The Marvels.
Yes.
What else was there? The cats.
The cats were great.
Adorable.
Awesome.
There were 2 phenomenal scenes in this movie, okay? 2 scenes that made me look at you and go, this movie is whatever, but that was fucking great. Okay, number 1 was the first fight scene. Because
that was
clearly,
pretty cool.
clearly the switching is a gimmick, but they used the gimmick so
worked
well.
really well.
The choreography and the fact that it was coherent. It's a lot of jump cuts and a lot of swings.
That was the other thing. Okay, go. Sorry.
Stop it.
I'm just thinking out loud. Just go.
It's just, it was so nice. Because it showed like Captain Marvel would switch and she'd be like, I'm a fucking almost deity. I noticed that this is going on. I was just here. Bang, bang, punch. I can't use my powers. Monica Rambeau would be like, I got military training. You're going to try and hit me? I could do this. Kamala Khan would show up. She'd just be like, bang, 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 bang. Getting the shit kicked out of her.
Yeah, it was great.
Yes.
The one thing that really bothered me, I wasn't sure if it was this one or one later in the movie. I don't remember specifically. But this is a PSA to all directors. There's more 90s music than just the Beastie Boys.
This is a fact.
This is the 6th one now, I think we've seen in 2 years, 3 of which are Marvel films that just have a fight scene with the Beastie Boys. And 2 or 3 movies use the same song. What is happening?
Is that, I don't think it's, most of them are
this
from the
one
same
wasn't
album.
the same song, but yeah.
Most of them are the same album, which is,
playing on it?
Yes, Licensed Still. Very good album. The other scene that I fucking loved was the cats, because they leaned into it heavily. They were like, look at all these cats. Everybody's going to eat, the cats are going to eat the people. And instead of them just like jumping and then being like, the cats are here, it was fucking like 10 minutes of just like them trapping these people in and the cats eating the people and then shoving the cats on the plane.
That was
perfect.
The best thing is that they clearly were just like,
They
okay,
saw it
guys,
and they
we have a
leaned into
plan.
it.
You
Yes.
need to get eaten by these space cats. And everyone's
every
like,
single-
I don't want to be fucking eaten.
Every single hero was like Kamala's like making walls to block people in. She's like, I'm so
And,
sorry.
Like, they're harming these people.
Yes.
And then they're like running for their life. And these cats are just eating people.
And then they get to Earth and the cats all start to walk out, and one by one they're aggressively vomiting people out.
Which there were 2 scenes with, one of which
Oh my
you
God.
laughed at, and I think I heard him right, but I think he said watch the eye or something when like he got clawed at, and you were laughing your assholes, but I don't remember what he said. Like he picked up the cat and went, shh, and I thought he said like watch the eye or something. Do you know what he said there?
No, what I was laughing at was during the scene when they landed on Earth and they were puking people up. I wasn't watching what Nick Fury was doing.
No, I was just watching the people.
There was one person sitting down on the fucking grass, and all these cats are coming out, and the cats are like walking around, and they're like, oh my God, a ship. And the cats start throwing people up, and the person's like, what the fuck? And they don't like get up and sprint away like an extra would do. It looked like a genuine person being like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
In a world where there were gods fighting in Egypt like a year ago in Moon Knight, and the Avengers had blown up cities or pulled them off the planet, that's the thing that gets you?
Because it's no longer just
Tentacle
like, holy
vomit
fuck,
cat?
I'm going to die right now. It's just like, oh, no, not again.
I just got my new car, man. My car insurance will
I
pay for
can't
this.
fucking do
I
this
skipped
right
on the
now.
superhero coverage this time.
I shouldn't have called out to work today. I just wanted to sit at the park, and now there's cats vomiting people.
Why do they
And
have tentacles?
I love that they used it almost as like not a jump scare, but it was like always startling when they did it because they would always make it come at the camera.
Yeah.
And talking about how they leaned into the cats, really, the one scene where it was like slow mo and the kitten just comes in the frame, and the entire theater just started laughing because it was just like comes back to what I was talking about before.
Yeah.
It very much seems like it was a movie written by a teenage girl.
Yes.
Not dialogue and stuff like that, like shitty, but I'm saying like their perspective.
All of the reviews that I saw, or rather the ones that I read from people I trust, like comicbook.com, Rotten Tomatoes, I trust sort of, like just various places, every single actual movie reviewer is like, this movie, as an action movie, as a Marvel movie, as everything, sucks. I hate it. I don't find the characters compelling. No. On the other side, every comic book website I look at, or even IGN, is like, listen, if you're a comic fan, this is a comic book movie.
It is.
It's not compelling. The characters don't have tons of depth, but there's a lot of colors and there's a lot of fun.
But they should have depth. This
totally
is not the first time.
fall on the side of the comics.
This is not the first time any of them have shown up, though. So they should have more depth.
They have.
It should have been character growth, not a character change.
Brie Larson, it shouldn't feel as forced as it is. And I get it's because it's a different actress, and it was one thing when she was young, and it's another thing now she's grown up. Every time Brie Larson was face to face with Monica Rambeau,
different actress. Oh yeah.
Every time they were face to face, they were like, "Oh look, she's crying. This is a heartfelt moment." I was like, no, it's not.
You weren't there. I didn't want you to think I was a bad person, so don't tell her. It happened in space. She's a kid. It's not on the news. What the fuck?
The moments just didn't land. All right, so the last thing, the CG problems. I only, to cherry pick.
They weren't problems.
There were only 2 scenes that I could pick that I had some kind of a problem with. What is it? It was either when they were practicing switching on the ship or in the final climax where the 3 of them were fighting someone. And then it was very clear that they meant to switch, that they had to switch. So it was like the bad guy and them, but they were clearly like copy and pasted in from a different scene.
Yeah.
So when they switched, that's when and there was like an actual contact. Mm-hmm. And I was like, floating fucking people that kind of look like gelatin. This is great. Okay. And the other one is just in the end, Monica, I get it. You know, she got these powers. Now it's all light. She's photon. Super cool. But man, those fucking contact lenses and all the white light blaring behind her as she's a dark-skinned woman with a black background because she's in outer space, it looked atrocious. The lighting felt horrible and wrong. Everything looked like a mess of her just looking down at a camera and being like, I can do this. Don't worry about me.
Yeah.
None of it made it. No part of it was visually appealing.
One thing that this is a separate thought, but it's just run through my mind.
Okay.
One thing I thought was really weird is there's all these like snapshots online for like the past years of just Brie Larson working out.
She looks like a twig human being.
I thought she was gonna come into this movie and be fucking jacked. And she was a lot thinner than I thought, but there was one scene where she yanked something out of the computer and the back of her arm just was shredded. And like, there were so many muscles. I didn't know there were that many muscle groups on the back of her shoulder. I'm like, oh, she's not skinny. She's just really, really fit. She's not like Thor jacked.
I think the problem,
just really fit.
I think the problem was just her suit in the first Captain Marvel movie was significantly thicker and leather and padded. As I remember when they were like hyping her up for the first one, they were like, look at all the workout she's doing. And I could see it.
Yeah.
In this one, to me, I guess it was the suit and the fact that it was more thin latex than it was padded muscle, like in the 90s.
Yeah.
So to me, she looked like a twig human being.
Well, I was talking about more when they were on the ship and everything. She was in like the tank top and everything. I'm like, I really thought that she would be like a bit scarier to look at, like intimidating.
A tad bit more imposing. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, she just kind of seemed like you seem like you're working out, but I think it is like we're so used to.
It's a different kind of workout regimen then.
Yeah, I mean,
she's not trying to get.
She's
big
not Chris
and bulky.
Hemsworth. She's not trying to look like Chris Hemsworth.
She's not trying to have her arm look gigantic and bigger than her head.
But I thought it would be a bit bigger than it was. Like out of all that, I'm like, because like it's Captain Marvel, and like I'm not like a physician. I don't like. I don't know about the like physicality.
We're just two people
like,
that talk shit on microphones.
Yeah, that mainly. So like, I want to know if it like. I mean, like obviously, I've seen like larger like bodybuilding women, but I wonder if like she actually struggled to get bigger, or that's what they actually wanted.
I don't know. And honestly,
we don't really have the.
I don't want to know.
Yeah, we don't also have the education to talk about.
No, we do not. Whatever. Not at all.
I just it was curious to me.
Yeah.
And then Monica Rambeau just.
She looked jacked. I think it was the suit, because her suit in this one was very similar to the original Captain Marvel suit.
Yeah. It's also like the color palette on it was really nice.
The black and white?
Yeah.
It was very nice.
And like, I know you talk shit about like the contacts and everything before, but like when she did power up, I'm like, you know what? That looks cool. That's like,
the colors on the suit with the lighting were nice. It was really just like her face and her hair.
The eyes were terrible. And then they didn't even commit to it. They cut to another scene later, and I'm like, she just got regular fucking eyes. Like,
what'd you guys do to me?
Yeah.
So the last thing I'll say, outside of Captain Marvel hyping up this binary form in the first movie and then just completely ignoring it every time that she got into a bad corner.
Please talk about that again, because I don't remember it.
So you remember in the end, right? She in the first Captain Marvel movie, she has the supreme intelligence in her head. She has that chip on the back of her head, and the whole time it's like she goes unconscious. It's the chip talking to her in her head. In the end, when she's on the ship and they have the Tesseract in the lunchbox, how she's bound down and then she beats the shit out of the supreme intelligence. It breaks, and then her hair, she goes Super Saiyan. That's binary.
Okay.
It's her binary form. She's just going fucking Super Saiyan.
So we got 2 other characters that we need to talk about that we haven't touched on.
Are they in the end?
One of them's towards the beginning. The Supreme Intelligence.
Looks super cool.
Really cool. Apparently, I saw a photo of it, like comic accurate, and I saw that before I saw the movie, so I'm like, oh, this must be a big deal or whatever.
No.
One scene.
Throwaway.
One fucking scene.
But that's why they made it comic accurate, to just be like, look, we did it.
It was really cool looking. It was. And
like
then
an alien.
Kelsey Grammer.
Stop. We're not there yet.
Of Jersey Brewery fame.
Stop it. Because you met him. Here's the photo. Brendan met Kelsey Grammer.
At a beer Oktoberfest.
In the end, right, I think the way it looks from an aesthetic point of view is fucking phenomenal. Okay?
Yes.
As the hexagons and everything's falling apart and is literally space breaking into another dimension. Mm-hmm. Very nice way of doing the multiverse in this movie.
Yes.
Instead of them going, oh, I'm traveling, or there's a portal, or whatever, they just went, look, space, broken.
What I found really funny about it is how fucking far we've come from Iron Man, and I know that the world itself is
the same
different, but I'm like, if I saw a hexagonal hole in space in Iron Man, I'd be like, what the fuck are you guys doing? But right now, I'm like, that is so comic accurate.
It makes total sense because it's been 15 years of building up to this. It's ridiculous to be like, oh, the multiverse is breaking in the middle of outer space outside of her spaceship after they just destroyed that crazy woman with a magic hammer. Like,
I want more of the grounded stuff, but not in a way where it's Falcon and the Winter Soldier or Black Widow. Like, I want it to still have some of that, like, craziness, but not just be like, it's a super soldier again. Like, no. But make it an Earth villain.
Well, do you remember, I told you earlier in the week, Marvel just announced Marvel Spotlight, which is the MCU corner that will be grounded. Like, deliberately and specifically things that will be boots on the ground.
So the Thunderbolts.
The Thunderbolts, Daredevil, Echo.
Who are the Thunderbolts fighting? Do we even know?
Nope.
Of course,
haven't gotten there yet.
Cool.
Captain America, New World Order. Mm-hmm. I think that's still the name of the movie.
Okay, are we start?
No, we're not
hold
there
off
yet.
on that. You skip that for now.
The post-credits scene.
Yes.
Okay. Last week, Kevin Feige was like, they were like, oh, when are we going to see the X-Men? He's like, you're going to see them sooner than you think.
Yeah.
There it is. So the post-credits scene is Monica Rambeau waking up because my assumption is she's on Battleworld, but we'll get there in a second.
I don't know what that is. Educate me.
We're almost there. Okay, we're right at the end of the movie. and then we're only going to talk about Loki.
Oh boy, what's going to happen?
So she sits down and she's talking to an alternate version of her mother, who we believe is Storm. I have no idea what the suit is.
Can you Google it? The suit means something we don't know, but someone knows. There's no way that's Storm, though.
Monica. What is her mom's name? Maria Rambeau. The Marvels.
Does this count as a Rambo
post credits.
I was thinking that while we were watching. I'm like, Rambo. This is a good Rambo movie. Silence.
I'm reading something from Entertainment Weekly, but they don't say who it is.
I'm going to take this opportunity to go pee.
Are you really? Yeah, I really am. Oh, wow. It's the beer. So we're stupid. That was a good clap, too. We're stupid.
Why?
She is not playing Storm. She's playing Binary. Binary, I guess, is an alternate version of Carol Danvers. So she has Captain Marvel powers, sort of. But she turns red and has fire powers.
Cool.
And one of the headlines says, Screen Rant, no, that isn't Storm in the Marvel's post-credit scene. So Binary is there. And
I don't care.
Kelsey Grammer as Beast shows up, only he's CG. Instead of using the fucking makeup and things that they did 20 years ago, or even doing like what Nicholas Hoult did, because I understand Kelsey Grammer's an old man.
Yeah.
He is CG. And
well, that's why he's an old man, so it wouldn't look right even with it, because you get older, you get jowls and shit, so you put the makeup on him, you gotta have it thicker.
The CG, when he's standing still, is perfect. When he starts to talk and his mouth...
No, it haunted me. It did not look right. I'm like, the entire time I'm watching, I'm like, is that fucking Kelsey Grammer? What's going on with that face?
Is his face okay?
Because like it had the She-Hulk treatment. You could very clearly tell that they did not go for realism in any way, and I feel like that was one of those things that they they didn't know they were going to do, and they did it last. And I think that was one of the things that
probably
just
rushed.
Like, it was rushed. It didn't do whatever. Like,
but then again, the actor strike has been going for a while, so this had to have been filmed in the beginning of the year at the latest, because the actor strike just ended, and that was like 180 days.
I thought it happened in August.
No, it just ended, and it was.
I don't think it was that long.
118 days.
Okay, so, like over 3 months.
Yeah, 3 and change months.
So they could have did it over the summer, August, July. August, September, October, we're in November.
give or take. Okay.
Okay.
End of July, August. Fine.
Okay, still
Very clearly late in the day.
Yes.
Clearly they were like,
because
all right,
you got to
here's
get
what
the
we're gonna
movie
do.
done first. The end credit scene
The
comes
whole
last.
thing is clearly that they were in the middle of filming Deadpool, and they were like the X-Men. Bang.
Yeah.
So here's my theory, right? Because now we're in like theory talk right before Loki.
Yeah.
There are some leaks that Deadpool 3, that the TVA are going to show up because the TVA are working on finding the prime version of every single hero to defeat Kang or Battleworld or whatever it is. That's why Hugh Jackman shows up, because he's the prime version of Wolverine. They need him to fight whatever. I feel like that is what that is. I feel like the only reason they'd use Kelsey Grammer is nostalgia, but also to be the prime version.
No.
If they wanted to bait entirely nostalgia, it wouldn't have just been Monica Rambeau. It would have been someone else sitting there.
If he was going to be the prime version, they would have put more effort into it and made sure he looked correct.
Or it was rushed.
Because she's also, Maria Rambeau, is definitely not the prime version that we're going to get of Captain Marvel.
A binary?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
Because she's not Captain Marvel.
No, but I don't think we're going to get both of them. Also, like, I really don't care. She was in Captain Marvel, and then we didn't see her for
Doctor
6
Strange.
years. She was?
Yeah, she was Captain Marvel in Doctor Strange.
Oh, yeah.
Remember when they went to...
Yeah, stop giving me her. She's dead. Like, I don't care.
I think she's great. I think she was...
What do you mean? She hasn't done anything. I feel like they're trying to make us care because clearly Carol Danvers isn't working. So, like, well, instead of getting rid of the character, let's replace her with this one. But, like, I also don't care.
I'm fine with it because I'm here for the prime version of whatever. Because to me, it's either it's the planet of them trying to find them, or it is Battleworld. Which is basically it's a bunch of the Avengers and the prime versions of them and a bunch of shit, and they have to fight something on the planet. I've never read the comics. It's a planet where people battle. It's in the name. Doctor Doom, Kang, whatever the fuck it is.
Should be Doom.
Now we can talk about leaks.
No, we don't. Loki.
Well, my leak relates to what we were just talking about.
So are we gonna do a leaks break, or are we gonna go into Loki?
Well, you just took a leak break. Now we can do a leaks break.
No, we got to do this one. Yeah, we got to get into Loki.
The season series finale.
Holy fucking shit!
There's a lot.
Holy fucking shit!
So let's skip right to
the end,
the important part. Let's just walk you through what happens in comic speak, and then we'll see if a normal human being could understand what we're talking about. So basically, the Magic Man walks down the steps. He calls back to some things he said in the first Thor movie to Odin. He gets really sad and he walks down the long street. He gets a really nice close comic accurate suit of the horns and looks kind of like a devil.
Pause.
What?
Those horns
phenomenal.
Were fucking massive.
Yes, they were.
And they were really cool.
Yeah.
And I really liked it.
Oh, no. Where's the butt?
Then
there it is.
Then he turned to the camera and his hair was still out.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that looks a little weird to me.
Yeah.
A little bit. But then at the end when he's doing what he's doing, because you're going to get there, so I'm not going to say what it is, it did look really cool. But in that side angle, it looked a little off because it looked like a visor.
It did, yes. But the black horns look so much better than the gold ones.
They were black?
Yeah.
I thought they were gold.
No.
I had no idea.
No, it was like a black with a green hue, I think. I was also watching this in bed on my phone, like a true 2023
I was watching it on my
person.
4K TV with the lights off. It was beautiful.
I wanted to watch it again today.
So good.
Wanted to. We'll probably watch it when we get home.
Mm-hmm.
So he walks down, and basically after 40 minutes of him talking to He Who Remains, and He Who Remains being like, I fucking planned this whole thing, man. The loom there is on purpose. You can't do shit, motherfucker. He breaks the loom. And then the timelines break and turn into string. Or like twined up string. So he just starts grabbing them and then walking on space and walking towards the center of the universe to get to his chair, where he sits down and grabs as many of the timelines as he can, uses his powers to give them life, and then his glorious purpose is to sit there forever.
Yeah.
In the middle of there's a name for it, but like the 9 Realms tree.
The tree of life.
Yeah, no, there's a name for it. I saw it today. The 9 Realms tree that he's sitting in the middle of to make sure the multiverse is survives.
No, but I'm saying like that's also like the tree of life from Thor, where it connects the realms.
That's what I'm saying. The 9 Realms tree. There's a name for it. What?
I thought mine was the name of it.
No.
Is it the tree of life?
I can't pronounce that.
Let me see. Give me the letters.
Yggdrasil?
What?
Yggdrasil? Yggdrasill. Yggdrasil?
Yeah, sure. Vagisil is
the tree of life.
Yes.
and the 9 worlds of Norse mythology.
Yes, which I love that he did that.
Super fucking cool.
So hold on.
Holding.
Now this is what we have to talk about.
Okay. You can do it.
It's gonna get so fucking weird.
Oh my gosh.
There's so many
This
implications.
isn't the weird part?
No.
Loki sitting at the middle of the multiverse inside of a tree, holding everything to make sure it doesn't collapse.
Now we have the problems of, first of all, the time stone is green.
Yes.
Loki's tree
Powers
is
are green.
Was the entire MCU in that actual original timeline that we witnessed with He Who Remains, who, by the way, was a lot more of a ball buster than I remember.
Yeah.
Or is it now in the active universe with Loki? Is he the one who is actually in charge of the timeline? Is the timeline of He Who Remains and all that shit not the real one? And everything since the beginning of all of this was just why the Tree of Life exists in the first Thor movie is because in the existing timeline that we've all been watching, Loki has always been the one in charge because that other shit already fell apart because time is a circle, which means now that he's there, it goes back and forward, which means he's now all in charge of all of that.
But also, in the beginning, fighting against the Avengers.
Yeah, well, because that's his
his glorious purpose.
His glorious purpose is the same as Darth Maul, but except he
that was good.
Yeah,
destined to fail.
Yeah, except
he succeeded.
For now, if he's destined to fail, like
I see 2 things here. Right, I think it's hard to judge because you can't say. Because this is fucking ridiculous.
It causes so many issues, but it's so cool.
You can't say that it's He Who Remains' his timeline because they're at the end of time, outside of time, in that little thing. Clearly, it's not his. It doesn't make sense
because he can time travel. Therefore, there is more time, and also that's the end of his time. It's not the end of time. And then also,
it's as far as he saw.
The one thing that did bother me that I really need to mention.
Okay.
He can travel back in time and do all of this and go win and wherever. But not once did he go, fuck, man, I just want to go see my brother and just go say hi.
If you want to talk about the most missed opportunity, Thor not showing up once in 2 seasons of a Loki TV show, missed. We talked about it last week.
Yeah.
The only thing we got was Throg. Okay, and that was 5 seconds of Chris Hemsworth being like, blah, 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 you turned me into a frog, motherfucker. Never actually shows up. Wasted. That is the only missed opportunity here.
I was trying to fast forward to the credits, so I don't know. Was there an end credit scene?
I didn't see one, no.
Okay.
Feels like a really nice burnout of him just being like, I'm going to sit here forever.
So, here's the other thing. Is you keep saying that, and like that seems like that's what needs to happen.
There are
so is there a possible way for him to leave that chair, or does he physically have to be there to hold together time?
He has to be there. So that's what I gather.
So
otherwise he wouldn't be holding.
Talk to anyone ever unless he uses. He could use time travel.
He can.
So he could simultaneously be there and somewhere else.
Yes. So I see 2 things. If Jonathan Majors is like fucking canceled tomorrow.
Yeah.
And they have to actually like cancel the Kang Dynasty and be like, nah, Secret Wars fucking part 1 and 2. And they have to throw him away as a villain entirely. I see this going one of 2 ways. Number 1, somebody shows up and fucking shoots Loki. Like Dr. Doom, like listen.
What?
Hold on. So if theoretically, right, if somebody like Kang who's smart enough can get to the center of like existence and time and shit, who's saying that somebody else can't also do it?
Yeah.
Like if Kang stops existing and then he who remains is like fucking dead because of whatever, who's to say that Doom, their backup character that they talked about in the leaks and whatever, who's to say that he doesn't show up and is like, oh, Loki, I found you. You're in the center of the multiverse. And they're like, who the fuck is this guy? And then he just like, it could be something stupid, like shoot Loki in the fucking head or something.
But it's not that easy because they showed all of them already.
They did, yes.
So
but
like,
this is just one of my 2 theories.
Like I guess Doom could be like, oh no, I handled that already, which is going to be really shitty. But you could.
No, it would be really shitty. But no, shitty is if Doom shows up and he's just a dude. Cool is
done before, but
if Doom does it, and then when you finally beat Doom in the end of Secret Wars, Secret Wars Part 2 or whatever it's going to be, takes off the mask, Loki variant. Everybody's like, no, it's going to be a fucking Iron Man variant. No. Doom, Loki variant? Fucking cool. Number 2.
I would be annoyed by that.
No, you'd be annoyed more by my second theory, which is Loki sitting there, he got the beard, he's the old fucking decrepit man, and he snaps. And all of his character development from 14 years turns, and he's like, I'm the fucking villain again because I hate sitting here.
It's not going to happen.
2 theories.
No, because it's not 14 years anymore.
How else do we fucking get Kang back then? I don't understand what the plan is with Kang from here on out.
I think he's fine because everything it seems like what's happening is like it's just like a disgruntled ex-girlfriend that like there's like things where like he's like been accused.
Which one's the girlfriend?
Right, or a wife or something.
Kang?
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about real world.
Yeah, where like
I have no idea.
I've heard that there were like things like retracted and stuff like that. So it just seems like a mess. Where like I'm not gonna say anything because I've been wrong before.
Yes,
but like. From what that is happening,
yeah.
It doesn't seem like there's a whole lot sticking, and I think that Disney themselves, if they weren't behind him and probably believed in him, they probably would have cut him already. So I think that he should be fine.
No, I think they're just afraid of making the same mistake with James Gunn again.
What?
Remember they canceled James Gunn because of some old tweets, and then they brought him back for Guardians 3 and were like, we are so sorry.
And he's like, fuck you guys. I'm going to ruin your life with DC.
That's right, exactly. I think they're just afraid of doing that again because he's literally. It's kind of like if they teased Thanos and then they like put out the trailer for Infinity War and then it came out like Josh Brolin killed some kids or something.
What?
Well, because then it's like that's your big bad. He's already set up. He's already shown up in a couple things. What do you do?
Well, I mean, he's a CG monster, not just a guy. So you could change him.
It's the comparison.
I mean, his face already changed like twice. So like it happened again
far too many times because it wasn't actually Josh Brolin.
No, they make him like Cell. Every time he gets a stone, his face changes.
That's. I really hope the stones don't come back. That's
no, we don't need that. We're at a point now where it's grown so much. The big name villains, for the most part, that are left are fucking ridiculous. So to put them in a movie and have
the Living Tribunal
and have like Galactus,
Eternity.
Is he Eternity? Is Loki Eternity?
No, Eternity showed up in Thor: Love and Thunder.
You saw a statue of it.
No, that was him.
That was a statue.
No, it was Eternity.
That thing did not move.
Yeah, who says Eternity moves? There's a statue of the Living Tribunal. Are we talking about the same thing? Eternity is the one that looks like space.
Yeah. So, like...
Was that really Eternity or a statue in Thor? No, that's him.
It's actually Eternity?
Yeah.
You know what would be really trippy?
What?
If we go back and like all these like statues and everything that we saw, like somehow, I know we didn't because like everyone just dissects every fucking frame of a Marvel movie. Of course. But like, if,
you mean like the statues in Ragnarok?
Yeah. Or no, not Ragnarok. In Love and Thunder, where he's in there and you see like death and everything. Like if one of them was actually Loki, and like he just walked past it because like it didn't even click to him or us. And like I know it's not gonna happen, but that would be so cool.
It would be retroactive at this point. They'd be like, oh, that makes sense. That's like one of those things where they're like, oh, Tom Holland is clearly that kid in Iron Man 2.
And as much as I know we touched on it already, that I'm excited for the Deadpool thing.
Yeah.
I really wanted him to have his story with death and everything because I find that to be really cool.
Deadpool?
Yeah. And instead they're just using him as like this.
No,
like,
it's not even Deadpool 3. It's a meta thing of them being like, look, Ryan Reynolds, you know him, Hugh Jackman, you know him, you know their friends, and you know their movies.
Yeah.
Everything is going to connect because whoop-de-doo, nostalgia, multiverse, blah, 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 blah. I say that even though I'm fucking here for it.
Yeah,
like, I'm totally
no, I'm totally. But like,
you know they're gonna
it's
come
not
out.
a real Deadpool sequel.
Exactly, they're gonna come out and be like, "Look, we're looking for the prime version of Charles Xavier," and you're like, "All right, clearly Patrick Stewart."
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Oh, we need the prime version of Magneto," and you're like, "All right, clearly Ian McKellen."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, it's the prime one." You're like, "No, it's because we've seen them before." Who are you lying to?
Before we move on to all of the rumor mills stuff and whatever the hell's going on, we really only talked about the last 10 minutes of Loki. Is there anything else you wanted to touch on?
I feel like it was... it's hard because those last 10 minutes of all of the universe and the tree is like here.
Yeah.
And the rest of Loki's really good. But it's like when really good is here and then the rest is like...
So the one thing I wanted to mention that neither of us touched on...
The amount of time in all of him going back and shit?
No, I mentioned that a couple times.
Did you?
Yeah. Talked about how it was like centuries and centuries that he was like doing. So he's as smart
as he's done the shit
Obi and everything. Like he knows whatever they know, at least as far as the loom goes.
Yes.
But like he's also taught himself like those kind of physics and stuff like that. So he probably understands a good portion of all knowledge.
He also must be clinically insane at this point.
Yeah, he was very broken towards the end.
Yeah.
But fuck, I forgot what I was talking about. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
So part of the reason why I think this episode was so good compared to the rest of the show, minus what was happening, because a lot of it, nothing did happen until the last 15 minutes. It was just loop, 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 loop.
Yes.
The cinematography and the way it was directed was not that of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It was creative. It was artsy.
Sorry.
Hold off on that. It was creative. It was artsy. It was intense. There was a lot of weird shots that you don't really see in a Marvel universe where it's very vanilla, I'm going to call it.
Okay.
And it was very intriguing to watch these things. You felt like he was going in, not that he was going insane, but like reality itself was warped. And we talked about it not feeling that big. And the way that they filmed it, finale
it felt
episode,
much bigger. It felt incredibly dense by comparison.
And like the like zooms, the like fisheye lens, the like fucking Dutch angles kind of stuff. I don't know if they used any of these. These are just filming terms I know.
Good job. You used that degree.
Yes. I was not in that. I took one class. Side note on that, they made me close my eyes and listen to a film and bless you. And like, bless you. Sorry. It was about like sound design and stuff like that. Yeah. And they're like, oh, okay, close your eyes. We're gonna watch this 5-minute clip, and then we're gonna talk about. We're gonna have each of you guessed what was playing, even though you all had your eyes closed, and
nobody got it.
I was fucking off. I was talking about a whole bunch going on, and it turned out to be like cavemen. And I was
I know the scene.
No, not from Space Odyssey.
Fuck. I don't know the scene.
No, it was from like how I knew the scene.
Exactly.
No, but
we didn't even fucking say anything. We were just fucking.
It's the big one. But I got sidetracked. So what were we talking about again?
Oh, somebody just commented on our most recent short and said, "Bro looks like the kid version of Robin Williams in Jumanji." My assumption is they mean you. Does Robin Williams have brown hair?
He does.
Are they talking about me?
They might be talking about you.
Do I look like? That's the first time they talk about me.
Look at the kid version of Jumanji because I don't think he looks like me. But I may have a similar haircut, so I don't know. They're talking about you.
I think they're talking about me. It's better when they talk shit about you because it's funny.
It's funny to me that they're talking shit about you for once.
It was really nice seeing him go toe to. I like that He Who Remains came back. I like that they weren't like, oh, look, Victor Timely, and that's it. They were like, oh, look, He Who Remains, and it's not just like refilmed or callback from his initial scenes.
Yeah.
It's like they have an entire fucking dialogue here, and this is a dialogue they've had hundreds of thousands of times because Loki keeps going back and forth.
Yeah.
I thought that was phenomenal. Otherwise, like, the rest of the episode, not that it felt dull, because it didn't feel dull whatsoever. But from what I saw, the rest of the episode was just like doing a back and forth of like, all right, so I got to this thing, I'm going to do it a million times. Then I get to this thing, and I got to do it a million times. And then I get to the end, and now I'm holding a big tree.
I like the logic of him being like, man, we really fucked this up. Let me go back like 5 minutes. That should do it. And then like after doing that 30 times, he's like, I need to go way back.
Well, no, because that's what it's in theory, right? Because like you said, he did this millions of times.
Yeah.
He's trying to go back to. I can imagine that he goes back a couple minutes and then he tries it tons and tons of times, and then he goes, all right, well, a little bit further back. Maybe like 5 more minutes is all we need, so I can lecture them and then run.
My favorite thing for what they changed was him being like, "Don't put it down; it'll roll off." And then he put it down. He's like, "I told you it was gonna roll off." I want to know how many times the universe fucking died because he put that thing down and it just rolled off.
Probably thousands.
That's crazy.
I wish he would have cried. I wish like that moment where it finally happened, he would have been like, in theory, if he did that thousands of times and he was like at the end of his line, and he was like almost going insane, he would have snapped. Like that would have been the moment where Loki is gone and it's just like a man freaking the fuck out.
So like, can we also talk about the fact that he made poor Victor Timely be murdered millions and millions, if not billions of times, and putting on that dumb fucking suit, wasting time each time when he could just fucking walk out there?
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
He could have just done that from
the
get-go.
Like, did he know he could do that? Or was he just like, either this is going to work or I'm fucking dead?
Glorious purpose.
It's not glorious, though, because no one knows about it. There's no glory in it. 6 people know, and that is it. Also, they wrote a new TVA book.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, maybe everybody knows.
But the TVA also still exists.
Yeah. I was kind of hoping that they would be a bit greener once Loki took over, and it still got that brown, orange 70s vibe.
I thought they would have just been gone. I would have thought that, because the TVA was created by He Who Remains, and if you want to get rid of him entirely, then the TVA would be gone. Or it would be something entirely new that operated differently. It wouldn't just be the TVA again with a new book.
Well, because there's still variants and stuff like that going from timeline to timeline, so they still need to keep order, even though they're not pruning timelines themselves.
Yes, they're still capturing the bad ones, like Loki when he turns into a big ice monster. That was in season 1. Or when he was like a soccer player. There's a moment where they flashed a bunch of different Lokis, and one of them was like him as an ice giant, but he was like a big Hulking looking thing.
I gotta rewatch the first season.
First season's pretty good.
Okay.
We're also going to wind up watching it. Remember, after we finish Lord of the Rings, it's phase 4 and 5.
Yeah.
For the ranking.
Yeah. After Endgame. You can't start with Endgame because your expectations are going to be too high.
No, what we're going to start with is the double feature.
Can't.
Infinity War Endgame.
You can't.
Yeah, you can.
It's not part of stage 4 and 5 and 6. 4 and 5.
That's where I want to start.
That's where you want to start,
Yes.
but you're starting at a 10, and then you're immediately going to go to other shit, and I feel like your expectations are going to go down. I feel like if we're going to rank this
Brendan,
in a very
listen, I've been
standalone
talking
thing,
about wanting to watch the double feature for like 3 years.
just
Ask
watch
Timmy.
it now. Like, don't put it as part of the ranking.
Just come on, please.
Come on!
Okay, so now the leak rumors. Now that we've spent another hour of our lives talking about only Marvel.
Guess what? More Marvel leaks!
All right. Can you guess? Do you know who the lead of Secret Wars is? Because we've spoken about this.
It's Toby and Hugh.
Yes. Do you know who signed on, allegedly, to return in Secret Wars? It's the most obvious fucking curve.
RDJ and Chris Evans.
Yes, both of them.
Yes.
Will it work without all of them?
I think that it's not going to work with them.
Yeah.
I think that having these many people come in and do whatever and blah, 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 and they're like, it's the multiverse. Oh, my God.
No, you know what they need to do?
Hold on.
Okay.
Because there's like, I don't think anyone's really thought about this.
Yes.
We have constantly had people pop in and out of universe and do whatever, and Toby came back and whatever. So the shock value and the surprise of him being there is now gone. The shock value of Hugh Jackman coming back, we've already seen him, is gone. You're now going to have to stuff, I'm assuming it's going to be closer to a 3-hour film. With all of these people we've already seen, you're going to have to give them introductory scenes because it's not building like shit was to Endgame and stuff like that. You have to reintroduce all these characters. The movie is going to be bad. I guarantee
it's going to be too much.
You're going to be, there's no story. There's not going to be any story.
What I see, the possibility of making it work, right, is do not make them the focal point. There is a fucked up Avengers team right now that barely exists between the Young Avengers and whatever. Do not make it the, oh, look, fuck, Iron Man and Captain America are back. They got to get the Avengers together one last time to beat whatever before the universe resets. Let it be the ending. Let it be the ending where they're all going up against the 100 Kangs or whatever the fuck the villain is, or Doom or whatever. Let it be all the Avengers that are left. And then portals like Endgame before, only it's the multiverse for the Prime versions. And there's a fucking portal that opens, and it's the Endgame version to them. And Chris Evans and RDJ and the original team walk out in their Endgame white suits or whatever, or the final battle suits. Let them walk out and be like, I don't know what the fuck's going on, but I'm here to help because that's I can do this all day. Look at me, I'm fucking Captain America. Because that, if you give them too much story, if you make them the focal point, it throws away all of the character development and the sacrifice in the end of those movies. It throws away the shock value. If you have them show up, fight, couple little throwaways, and then they're like, I did this all day.
They each need their own movie now. So I'm not going to say that as each variant or whatever, or Prime, whatever. I think you need to give something like the Thunderbolts, the Grounded Squad. You need to have
a Young Avengers movie.
A Young Avengers movie. You need to have the New Avengers movie for whoever's left. And then you need to have a Prime movie. And then so you can introduce them, give them the story and lead to where they're going, and put all those out in 1 year and be a fucking powerhouse. And then very next year, you have the one where they come together.
Yes.
And that way you don't have to do whatever. Like in Infinity War, the first half hour is all these people coming together, but you don't need to be like, why the fuck are you here? What's going on with that? Like it all lined up.
That's literally what the all of Infinity War is. All of Infinity War is like various different fights, but all of the Avengers from across the universe coming back together.
But they were all good fights and they were all intertwined by the same
100%.
bad guy, which
100%.
is what brought them there. But I'm saying there's no way in hell you could have all of this. What would really fucking blow my mind? It's just like the Spider-Verse. What if the Spot is the villain for like one of these, and he comes in with all these things, which is what's creating all these people coming into the main universe? What if it's like a Who Framed Roger Rabbit kind of shit, where Miles doesn't become live action, he's just animated? No, I hate that.
I hate that so much.
Fucking much. But like,
I want them to have restraint, right? The restraint is getting the heroes together where it makes sense, or doing what you said, and then converging everything.
You need stepping stones.
Going too far is them going, oh look, it's Endgame again, where everybody's coming through portals. But here's Toby and Andrew and RDJ and Miles from the Into the Spider-Verse, and Peter, but from the video game, and the X-Men from the 2001 video game.
It's a flight of steps.
Yes.
And we took all these steps to get to Endgame, and then we were walking along here for a while, and instead of steps, we were on a ramp, and we were going up very, very slowly and incrementally, and now we just took one step, and now we're that kid in middle school who went, watch me jump up all 4 of these fucking steps, and just skip the flight of steps, and they're going, dude, and they get there, but then, instead of everybody going like, wow, man, you cleared all 4 of those steps, everyone's like, neat, and then we move on with our life. That's what's going to happen with this movie, because they haven't moved anywhere, and now they're going to jump so much that everyone's just going to be like, there's so much happening, and we love so much of this, but you forgot to have a cohesive story, and if they pull it off, stop. If they pull it off, stop. Because if you somehow pull that off,
2019.
If you pull that off, that means you're going to somehow top Endgame and Infinity War. And if you pull that off, that is not a sign to keep going. That means you got out alive. Shut it off.
Stop it. Stop it where it lies.
It's dead.
Take the break, or call it where it is. You made your tens of billions of dollars.
And then you know how you bring it back? Wait 5 years, not a single fucking Marvel movie. Yeah. Then you put out a random superhero film.
X-Men.
No.
Wolverine.
A superhero that is not written yet. Create a new one.
From scratch?
Fuck
that.
Have them develop it. Have multiple people work on it. Like, have actual people at Marvel write it. Make a comic. Don't release it. Yeah. Give it a backstory. Do whatever. And then in the end credits or the sequel to that one, have it revealed that they are part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And they've been in it the whole time. We just haven't. It's like another grounded thing almost, or
start
like
from
separate.
Start from
and start there, and then just be like, "Oh, I'm here," and you're just like, "Oh fuck!" And then people are like, "Well, if that's there, then this is the."
And this is everything's connected.
And then you don't need everyone anymore. You can just draw where you need to. And if you want everyone, 2-minute scenes. Hey, I need help. Oh fuck, I'm in Chicago today. This superhero's there. Like, yeah. You don't need, because it's a universe. You don't need the universe involved every time.
No. I'm getting really tired of that. I'm getting really tired of the universe being at stake every single time we have a superhero movie. I
mean, for the Marvels, it really wasn't. It was Earth was at stake. And,
there were cracks in the multiverse, and then planets were bleeding into other planets.
Yeah, but like after she was done, I feel like that was closed, or else like the water would go back on the other planet.
Everything was fixed, but it just.
Is no one going to talk about that our sun lost a lot of mass, and they're just like, we're saved. Did anyone close that fucking portal? Because I didn't see it. Did you see it?
No.
So we're just,
Nah, doesn't matter. We do also continue to forget that there is a celestial head in the North Pole right now.
Oh, trust me, I have not forgotten.
Nobody
who has? Nick Fury, the Avengers,
Arishem,
everybody. Who?
Arishem? Who? The big red celestial that pulls the Eternals out.
Yeah, you think he would have showed up in this like 6 years? Like a fucking
dude. The minute that they were breaking the multiverse, the first thought I had was like, there are gigantic gods the size of solar systems, and not a single one of them has just gone like, whoop, stop it.
That was the big. They went really big. We were like, you got to do more, and they're like, okay, here you go, bang. And they're like, well, what about all this stuff down here? I'm like, no. What happened here, man?
You're missing the steps on the inside here.
I don't give a fuck that a girl from Jersey City has a bracelet when a celestial god is on his way to blow up Earth. The problem is you need to fucking pick your battles.
The problem isn't even that. Okay, I'm totally fine with Miss Marvel showing up, because Miss Marvel, her bangles will somehow relate to Shang-Chi, and somebody can fucking take Simu Liu off of his couch and put him in a fucking movie for once, okay? So there's that.
Who?
Simu Liu.
Who's that?
Shang-Chi. Because he showed up in one thing and he was like, I love being in the MCU, and then nothing.
Can we just talk about how like the first part of the Avengers was just like technology, stones, gods, and now they're like, everyone's got a fucking bracelet. And
mine's a friendship bracelet. It says RDJ.
Mine says brothers forever, but my brother's dead.
Consistency.
What? Yeah.
There is no consistency in the universe. And you know what? You can excuse, because it's just the Eternals that causes this problem. You can excuse and be like, all right, Thor couldn't do it. He was dealing with his new daughter. This took place at the same time as Love and Thunder. While they were dealing with the multiverse, he was talking to Eternity with Christian Bale. Okay? I get it. You could say whatever's fucking superhero. You could say Shang-Chi has no idea what the fuck you're talking about because he's got rings on his hands. That's it. What you can't say is that the Celestial Gods and the Guardians of the Galaxy, nobody goes, there's holes ripping in the way that we travel throughout the universe, and I can't travel right now because something's going on and bleeding.
Yeah.
You can't just be like, nah, none of them saw it. we're at the point where we're like 30 movies deep. It's like 10 shows. You can't just be like, no, they just couldn't. You know, they were busy.
Yeah.
You can't do it.
Especially everyone.
Every single one?
Just everyone was busy? Well,
no, Valkyrie was there.
Well, you know, like, I'm Spider-Man, and I'm like, it was Wednesday, so I had school, so, like, you know, you're on your fucking own.
They don't remember Spider-Man.
I've seen, okay.
That was a good crack, too.
Nick Fury.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
The Guardians. Captain Marvel.
Okay.
Anyone who was not actively on Earth as that happened still knows who Spider-Man is because he said everyone on Earth.
Oh.
So...
Doctor Strange was on Earth, though.
Yeah, but he always excludes himself from the spells, doesn't he?
I don't know. Nick Fury was also on Earth.
No, he wasn't. He was on the space station.
Oh, you're right, because it was Talos.
Yep.
Before he died.
So all of these
Secret
people...
Invasion spoiler.
Yeah, okay. Like anyone cares. All of these people still know who Spider-Man is.
Yes.
It's not an issue. It's really not. The only thing...
It'll be a throwaway line the next time there's an Avengers movie.
You don't know who I am? No, but wait till that next Spider-Man movie. We're going to have a whole love story with you and MJ where we got to fall in love again, or we're going to forget about it forever.
Yes.
And...
no, she's going to be fucking Ned. Okay, so... just to wrap up, the third episode in a row about the MCU. One Marvel movie next year.
That's going to be weird.
Yes,
I'm fucking
here for it. I'm so here for it.
No,
okay?
you're not.
There's really no Star Wars next year.
No Star Wars. No
Very little Marvel.
Whatever. Superman doesn't come out until 2025.
There's no DC bombs. Oh, boo fucking who?
We're a comic book channel. We have one movie
What
for
are
52
the big
episodes.
movies coming out in 2024?
Gen Z just finished. Invincible is currently on. We got The Boys coming out in the spring, and that's it. So we have Deadpool and The Boys for a 52-week period.
That's not true.
We are fucked.
We can watch The Beekeeper with
What
Jason
the
Statham.
B movie?
Yes, Beekeeper.
Oh no, I did actually want to see that.
Brendan, Mean Girls, the movie, the musical, the movie. Madam Web, Sony's Spider-Verse. A new
I
Kung
forgot
Fu
about
Panda.
that.
Hold on, I'm not done.
Dad, don't
Dune
make me
Part
watch
2.
that.
We're going to have to become a Ghostbusters channel.
I've already watched all of them. You're behind.
Yes, I am. Godzilla versus Kong, again.
What about the Godzilla TV show?
No, that comes out now.
Yeah.
First episode should be out already. Or maybe it's not. There's Challengers where Zendaya gets double teamed.
But we didn't watch that movie where Tom Holland was gay, so like it's we got to do both.
Yeah, the Tom Holland Zendaya getting fucked universe. Furiosa, the Mad Max spinoff.
What is that Zendaya movie coming out? Because I was actually really interested in that.
Brendan, I've got the momentum.
We got to watch that rowing movie.
Kingdom of the War of the Beneath the Planet of the Apes. Ballerina. Anna de Armas, John Wick.
Wish.
Bad Boy 4. Bad Boys 4.
No, I'm not watching that one. I draw the line there.
Inside Out 2.
Okay.
Despicable Me 4.
What? Are they really?
Deadpool 3.
Yeah.
Borderlands. Another Alien movie. Beetlejuice 2. Transformers 1. Kraven the Hunter.
Wednesday, season 2.
Joker Folly Ado. Terrifier 3. Venom 3.
I always forget that there's DC movie coming out and like
Gladiator
Marvel
2.
movies that aren't
Fucking
part of the
pay
main...
attention, please. I'm only in like November. Gladiator 2. Wicked Part 1.
Only November. There's only a month left after that.
There's a Lord of the Rings movie? Animated prequel.
Riders of Rohan?
Yes.
Yeah.
The Karate Kid?
Please don't.
The popular Netflix series Cobra Kai has helped keep the iconic 80s martial art franchise alive and kicking in the popular consciousness. And in 2024, Sony will head back to the IP with a remake of the original flick. Again. Mufasa, The Lion King, a spinoff. Sonic 3.
I'm so
Beyond the Spider-Verse. There's so much good stuff coming
Sonic 3 Beyond the Spider-Verse.
The ultimate movie. There's a lot of content next year.
There is.
I'm not worried at all.
No.
And that also means we could just diversify a bit.
Yeah.
Maybe we want to watch a drama.
But
or Zendaya getting double teamed. Okay?
So excited about that one, aren't you?
It's just funny. Okay?
Do
you have any closing thoughts about...
Well, we have to talk about Invincible episode 2.
Do we?
No, we can end it here.
We're like an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah, not much happened in the episode that's really worried about.
Well, no. Invincible...
Stuff happened, but we can combine it with next week's.
You say you got to pee again?
Yeah. I broke the seal.
Yeah, that's your own fault. All right. Brendan, do you remember what we talked about last week?
No, but you let the viewers know, and I will be right back.
All right. Goodbye, Brendan. Hold on. I got to find it. Folks, last week we talked about the title is Invincible and Gen V are outdoing Marvel. Last week you talked about Loki, FNAF, Blink 182, Marvel Studios is continuing to crumble, Gen V, Invincible, and Kingdom of the Rise of Beneath the Planet of the Apes. I'm going to say goodbye. Brendan! We'll wait for him to come back. So how's your day? How are you? Oh, that's pretty good. How was work? Oh, they really said that to you? That's crazy. You deserve a raise, honestly. Oh, you mean that too? Oh, okay. Ah, man, that sucks. I'm sorry. I really do apologize for all that. Brendan's coming back. He's very confused.
Hey, Matt.
I was asking the people about their day. So sign off.
I'm Brendan, and this has been The Anything Bowl. Good night.